Hey guys, this is Tanner from Headlock Talk. Just wanted to drop in real quick here before the start of the show. We apologize for any inconveniences. This week's episode had a few technical issues, but I think we've cleaned it up pretty well. So I apologize in advance if you're like, oh, this is lame. But I think that you'll still enjoy the show, and we apologize again for any inconveniences. Anyway, take a look, give it a listen, and thank you again for choosing Headlock Talk.
This episode of Headlock Talk is brought to you by Austin-based company Naturally Hemp's and their new line of CBD gummies. These gummies are made with 100% baked-in, pharmaceutical-grade, non-isolate-based CBD. What we're talking about here is the entourage effect. The entourage effect refers to the stronger effect you get when combining multiple cannabinoids together, as opposed to just CBD. Full-spectrum CBD, or CBD distillate, tends to be more potent and lasts longer. Unlike some other brands that use a spray-on CBD, Naturally Hemp CBD distillate is baked in, so you know you're getting the full dose with each gummy. I personally use them for all kinds of things, like sleep aid or muscle pain. And did I mention they taste great? They got 5 flavors. Strawberry, green apple, lemon lime, watermelon, and get this, the orange flavor has vitamin C in it. Ooh. So, if this sounds like something you could go for, head over to your nearest Create a Sig vape shop and pick yours up today to see for yourself the difference Naturally Hemp's gummies can make in your life.
So what's the deal with twice baked potatoes? Like, it seems like a very, monotonous kind of thing to do.
Well, if it's already baked once, I mean, surely you could just do all of the baking in the first go.
You would think so.
It's like the culinary equivalent of, hot potato.
Yeah.
That's what they play in culinary school.
That's hot. I still need to put it back in.
That's a twice baked potato. Gotta get it back in the oven. We only did once.
It's definitely not finished.
No, it's it kind of has, reminds me of Cody Rhodes.
Really?
Twice baked potato.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because he was, he's baked in WWE.
Uh-huh.
Getting baked in, not baked, but
not stoned.
Put through the ringer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He's paid his dues.
Exactly. Yeah. So he got baked in WWE, and he got baked in New Japan, and now he's coming to us as a twice baked potato at AEW.
At AEW, so he'll be a thrice baked potato.
A thrice baked potato. Yeah,
that's awesome. You definitely don't want green potatoes. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah. You know what's not a green potato, Steven? This episode of Headlock Talk, ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
Oh, man.
Out of the internet, over the airwaves, and into your ears, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. All the way in.
All the way in.
All in.
Yeah. Double or nothing.
Double or nothing. All in.
AEW reference.
Thrice baked potato.
Thrice baked potato.
We're back.
We're back.
Our waves look a little interesting here.
Oh yeah,
Is that just me?
I think we're just close to the microphone this time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, we'll roll with it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's do this. I'm, of course, Tanner, and to my right, the one, the only, Mr. Stephen Grudy.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Well, hello, Stephen.
Hello.
How have you been this week?
Oh, I've been good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just had a lot to do at work, coming back from vacation, but it's good.
Good?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, we talked about your vacation last time. Mm-hmm. That sounded really awesome.
Yeah.
I hope to go to Seattle one day soon myself.
Fun times.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, absolutely nothing happened this week. Can you think of any news? I can't really think of anything.
Not really. We're kind of just waiting. Waiting for big stuff.
Yeah. Is there a show tonight?
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm just kidding, you guys. There's a lot going on here, and we'll get to talking about it. We, of course, have a special guest later on. We had an interview with none other than the Queen of NE. You may know her from other podcasts like Queen's Court, and she's also on Brainbuster Radio, which I definitely recommend you guys subscribe to both of those great shows.
Yeah.
So she's going to give us her insight into some AEW happenings, and we talk a little bit about Money in the Bank. She will be attending that tonight, so I'm jealous.
Yeah, super jealous. Yeah, I didn't want to make it too known with our interview with her.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm super jealous.
Yeah, no, she's absolutely great, and very excited for her for sure. But yeah, we're kind of going to go away from our usual format here because there's just so much news going on. I feel like we need to tackle it all. So we'll definitely have some of our normal segments. But let's have a little bit of a departure here. Obviously, the big news of the week is the AEW to TNT deal. Huge news. A lot of people speculated for a long time, where is AEW going to end up? And I think everybody kind of figured, I guess, that TNT would be the most logical place to go. But it seems like kind of one of those, it's too good to be true kind of things. Like that's where WCW was and, this and that. I mean, how do you feel about this, Steven?
I mean, this is a huge get, both for AEW and TNT. I think this makes a lot of sense for them to go there. I do kind of get your point of like almost too good to be true, just because really, if you think about it, this is the perfect place for AEW.
True.
WCW was on TNT back in the day, and now we have this whole, this parallel dynamic of, is AEW going to take over WWE or siphon off talent? Well, they're already siphoning off talent, but, is AEW going to be the big man who's possibly going to come and take down WWE? We'll have to see. But, them being on TNT, it kind of plays into that whole dynamic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think it's quite interesting that AEW they've really got a hell of an offer. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So they're getting their production paid for, which is great. And they're also getting an ad split deal with TNT. So they're going to make extra revenue there, too. A lot of people, online chatter was, are they actually going to have to pay to get onto TV? And that certainly didn't seem to be the case here.
No, definitely doesn't seem like it. Sure.
The other one, the other station that was in the running for this here, according to Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, was Showtime. Which I think if I compare them side by side, I would much rather go with the TNT deal.
Well, yeah, TNT for sure. I mean, even just the, not everyone has Showtime.
Yeah.
And so, being on TNT, most people have TNT, so that makes a little bit more sense. But also with Showtime, that it would just really be a weird fit.
Right.
AEW fits on TNT. It fits within their programming. Whereas with Showtime, that would honestly just be kind of weird.
Well, and from everything that I'm understanding too, like Showtime would want it to be like one of those like special feature kind of things where it's like, hey, we're gonna, you can run a big show on our station, and we'll do it and everything. But I think you made a very good point. TNT's in a lot more cable households, and even those who continue to pay for cable service. Whether that's traditional, like with Spectrum or AT&T or Comcast or whoever it might be, you're going to get TNT, even if it's a non-traditional one, like YouTube TV, I think carries TNT. I think maybe also
PlayStation View carries TNT.
PlayStation View, Hulu Live, I think might also be carrying TNT.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people who will automatically get that with their standard cable package, or even if it's just a live streaming package. Whereas with Showtime, you generally have to pay extra to get that.
Right.
So, I mean, if they went with Showtime, the amount of exposure would be a lot more limited, I think.
For sure, yeah. And you mentioned the deal with Showtime would be like, you can have a big show on our channel. Would it be a weekly thing? Was that what the deal was?
I don't think so. I think they probably would have been looking at something like maybe monthly.
Yeah, honestly, if what AEW is trying to do is come in and topple the big dog with WWE, you need to have a weekly cable show. Like that. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree with that. I think it is interesting. They'll be doing the broadcasting this coming fall, and they made a huge point during all these press conferences here. We're working on analytics more. We're talking about damage being done during a match, and targeted moves, and how does this finisher compare, and these kind of things. And they also brought up something that you and I have talked about. That would help WWE a lot more. It's just making wins and losses matter more.
Yeah.
So that's definitely good.
That sounds fantastic. Honestly, this whole AEW I guess, situation has been almost too good to be true. Just because, we've been even before they really even started talking about AEW too much, we were really wanting it to be, a more serious WWE and have, like we said, have the matches, wins and losses mean more, be a more analytical show, have it be more about the wrestling, and everything that they've said so far points to that. And so, it's almost been too good to be true, because what we said we wanted out of AEW is what they seem to be putting together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, absolutely. I completely 100% agree. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they all pull this off too, because with, there's a lot of people saying like, okay, well, Tuesdays might fit, but Tuesdays is also when, the NBA will be, they have slots known on Tuesdays and Thursdays that the NBA takes up. So would Wednesday make more sense? I think that might be a huge possibility. Just because it's wide open, but I do think having the NBA on there and also, baseball games, MLB games on TNT will also be of a major help. For AEW to get more people back into wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think they really just need to focus on making a better product than WWE.
Yeah,
really. I don't think they need to focus too much on NBA's playing at this time. Maybe we shouldn't have our pay-per-view at this time, blah, blah, blah. With the current state of WWE and, wow, that was hard to get out, WWE and professional wrestling, they really just need to put forth a solid product week after week or month after month with the pay-per-views. The people will come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? American wrestling fans will come if you're giving that kind of product.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't want them to focus too much on, we need to be huge right now. And I want them to focus on putting together a really solid product week after week. And then once they're established and things like that, then, okay, cool. Start talking about NBA, start talking about NFL, that kind of stuff. But right now, focus on your problem.
Well, or
your main competition.
What I mean is you're getting advertising from NBA and MLB.
Okay, right. Scratch everything I just said. I understand now.
I was following your training and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Wait, what?
He doesn't understand me at all. No. Let me jump in real quick. Okay. No, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. No, because but that's really good for them. I mean, I 100% agree with what you said. But yeah, no, I do think it is really good that you can have like, oh man, Shaquille O'Neal's talking about this wrestling promotion I need to see, or oh man, Charles Barkley's talking about AEW.
Yeah,
that's cool. All right, I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's big. It's big.
Yeah,
it's real big.
So
that's what she said.
Yeah, that is what she said.
I saw it on your face.
Yeah,
you wanted to say it.
It was written all over. Let's talk about what we would want to see out of their first show on TNT. I mean, I gave a general question out to the wrestling community on Twitter asking what would you want to see be the first main event at Double or not Double or Nothing on TNT. So I guess, does anything stand out to you, Steven, as to what you would want to see be a match on TNT?
Well, one of the things I think that AEW is really trying to push, and I think they're going to benefit a lot from, is their tag team wrestling division. And they've said already, I know the Young Bucks have said in multiple interviews that they're looking to really be the top dog when it comes to the tag team division of professional wrestling. And, with the Revival possibly wanting to, jump ship from WWE.
Yeah.
One of a huge main event for the first ever weekly show would be Revival versus Young Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, if they can make it happen, if they can get out of their contracts soon enough, that would be big A+ on that for sure.
Yeah, it does two things. It gives a super solid match for the first ever weekly show to set it up really nicely going forward, and two, it kind of gives a nice little,
a little stab,
little birdie to WWE saying like, hey, we're here, we're bad. We got two of your guys, and, so.
I agree 100%. That would be awesome. especially if they were given the proper amount of time. I even think that there would be like a match like Rey Fenix from the Lucha Bros versus maybe somebody like Kenny Omega would be great, because I know those two could really hammer out an awesome match together.
Absolutely.
Rey Fenix is like the ultimate champion in Mexico right now. Like, he's super big, and Kenny Omega is obviously Kenny Omega, a worldwide name as well. So
what I really like about that idea is it kind of brings forth two different styles of wrestler on the AEW roster. You have Kenny Omega, who, I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, you know who Kenny Omega is. Yep. Whether you watch New Japan or not, you know who he is, and he's fantastic. Everyone knows that. Yeah. But then you also have Phoenix, who, you know, not everyone knows him. He's a little not as well known.
Yeah, a little less known.
But I would put him and Kenny Omega in the same like caliber. So it's like you have two just incredibly talented individuals, one really known, one really not known, and that kind of creates a really cool dynamic.
And I think they would make each other look very good. Like they would complement each other very well, just like the Revival and the Young Bucks would complement each other very, very well. If that was to happen, I would be so down for 100% Revival versus Young Bucks. Let's hear what some of y'all had to say about matches here, because as promised, we said that we would give you guys shout outs if you guys responded. What would you want to make AEW's first main event be for their TNT programming? Anthony and Alex from at AA Talk Stuff on Twitter, from the Anthony and Alex show.
Nice to hear from y'all again.
Nice to hear from you guys. They said, for just because perspective, Bucks versus Lucha Bros versus Angelico and Jack Evans would be awesome. Which, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
From a, quote, commercial need to make an impact with the casual viewer and still make the core fans happy perspective, Pac versus Kenny.
Yeah.
Pac would be good for sure. Obviously, that's a huge match.
Yeah, I mean, Pac is just going to be he's just a great acquisition for AEW. You can really put him into a lot of different storylines, and whatever storyline he is in, he's also going to have the dynamic that we brought up with Jon Moxley, if he ever does end up going to AEW, where you have the ex-WWE guy who's, you know, jaded from his time over there and is now being treated a little bit better over here. So yeah.
Well, and Pac is a hell of a heel too. Like, he's awesome. Let me see here. The MG Experience has written to us again at illustrious G40 on Twitter. They say, I know it may be putting a pay-per-view match on TV, but I can't help but wonder what would happen between Cody and Jericho. That's another really good one.
Yeah.
The more that I read into these responses, the more it's like, oh yeah, AEW's got like a really loaded roster.
Yeah, the roster's crazy for sure. I mean, you could almost just like put all their names on a magnet and throw all the magnets on a fridge, and then that's the Double or Nothing card or whatever. You know, like the talent that they have at their disposal is just really crazy, and with such a, you know, compared to WWE, a very small roster.
A very well built and put together.
It's an extremely well put together roster. Very much so.
Yeah, 100%. Pro Wrestling Fandom, they're on Twitter at PW_fandom. They said, you have to set the tone with the first episode. The first match and the last match of the show have to be epic. So I would open with Chris Jericho versus Sammy Guevara. Wow.
Yeah.
And I would close with Kenny Omega versus Pentagon. Pentagon being, of course, Phoenix's brother. Though, as a rule, I wouldn't want to throw away pay-per-view matches on TV, which is fair.
Yeah, but I mean, the first ever weekly show is arguably as important as a pay-per-view. You know?
True. You want to make a big impact.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And then we got of course, what would a shout out be without our good friend Mike Charlotte? Mike,
nice to hear from you again, Mike.
Nice to hear from Mike again. Nice to hear from everybody, of course. But Mike, he's at Mike JC821 on Twitter. He says, Young Bucks versus Angelico and Jack Evans. Good, solid. Jericho versus Cody, Pac versus Kenny. All of these would be great. And if Moxley is there, him in a singles match with anyone really, LOL.
I so agree with that last sentence, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, Moxley being in there is an interesting addition because I'm actually, we've got the AEW roster pulled up on our screen right now, and I'm looking at two guys who I know for sure would have great matches with Moxley, Jimmy Havoc being one, and Joey Janela being another. Both guys are really awesome at death matches, have a lot of good death match experience, and if Moxley's down for the death match cause still, and I'm sure he is, I don't know if you would actually see something like that on TNT. It might be a little bit too much for the younger viewers at home, but definitely something where you can start a feud.
Well, really, just have they nailed down a rating?
Not particularly. I would not doubt that it would be probably more PG rated than PG-14 per se, but I don't know.
I'd love for a TV-14 rating. Honestly, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, TV-14 sounds like it would be pretty legit.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the complaints about WWE have been the PG rating. I mean, that's one of my main complaints.
No,
so if I could get a TV-14 from AEW, my life's complete.
Absolutely agree. So thank you guys for shouting out your answers, and we always appreciate y'all's feedback. Let's talk a little bit about the AEW Double or Nothing card, because I'm really looking forward to seeing this, and of course we want to make sure that we get this preview in a week ahead of time for you guys. There have been some interesting developments to the card, but we'll go ahead and we'll get to those when it happens, right? So AEW Double or Nothing will be in Paradise, Nevada on May 25th, so next Saturday as of the time of this recording here. So we'll make sure to give you guys the review and the rundown on Sunday. Next Sunday, and then of course on Wednesday we're gonna do we're gonna review TLC. Obviously, we previewed that last week, so fun times, good memories, right? Good memories. Yeah.
You said TLC again, though.
Oh, I said TLC again? I'm so sorry. Yeah. They've got so many ladder-themed things going on.
A lot of acronyms.
Money in the Bank. My apologies, guys. Yeah. Money in the Bank review will be on Wednesday, and Double or Nothing review will be...
waiting to see if you caught it.
Oh, I stop catching things once the weekend starts.
Fair enough.
So Double or Nothing card here. So they've got two matches that have been labeled as a pre-show, perhaps. One being this 21-man casino battle royale for an AEW championship shot in the future. So we've got names like Ace Romero, Brian Pillman Jr., MJF, Joey Janela, Billy Gunn, Jimmy Havoc, Michael Nakazawa, Jungle Boy. A real big surprise here, Glacier. From WCW. He's good friends with Cody, so it's not surprising to see him in a match. Though it did, put me off guard for a minute. It'll be interesting to see who they give this match to here, because there's a lot of potential guys. I'm a
little upset that it's looking like AEW is going to go with the kind of pre-show route. I don't like pre-shows. If you don't think that the match is going to be good enough to be on the main card, then why would you put it on the card at all?
Right. I mean, they might have like some kind of free TV option where it's like, hey, get ready for Double or Nothing. Here's a little taste of what you could, what could be in store. So I think that's interesting.
I'm just not a huge fan of pre-shows. I don't know. I feel like it makes the show go on a little too long, but then it also doesn't really do anything for the guys who are on the pre-show, because it's like, hey, you almost made it.
True.
Not quite. I don't know.
No, I get where you're coming from, though. Again, the winner of this match, not all the participants have been named, but the winner of this match would get a future AEW World Championship match. I think that from everything I can see here, Joey Janela stands out, MJF stands out. For some reason, Billy Gunn catches my eye.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure why. He is a pretty solid talent though. Jimmy Havoc.
I'm going Jimmy Havoc, man.
Jimmy Havoc, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a shot.
I like Jimmy Havoc a lot. I want him to be real big in AEW. So
yeah, that'd be nice for him for sure. Kip Sabian, who I haven't seen a whole lot of personally, versus Sammy Guevara, who I have seen a whole lot of. That'll also be a good match. That'll be on the pre-show. Sammy Guevara and Joey Janela, actually, they had a heck of a match here in Austin for Wrestle Circus recently.
Nice.
I believe they aired it on Twitch. So if you're able to go back and watch that one, definitely do so. Very, very good. Let's see here. So we've got some matches. Best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta versus Angelico and Jack Evans. I've not seen too much of Angelico. I have seen Jack Evans, but I know that they team really well together, and I've heard there's a lot to look forward to with those guys.
Right on.
Best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. I'm a big fan of both of these guys here. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like Best Friends a lot. I've only seen a couple matches from them. I'm not too familiar with Angelico and Jack Evans, but from what you've told me, sounds like it's going to be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Beretta is awesome.
Yeah.
So this one's going to be really good.
Yeah, and I like Chuck Taylor a lot too. He's a funny guy, and I think even Trent and Chuck as singles competitors can both make a pretty big splash too.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. 6-woman tag team match. Aja Kong versus Yuka Sakazaki and Emi Sakura versus I'm sorry guys, Hikaru.
Yeah, I think you're
Shida, Ryo, and Ryu Mizunami.
Yeah.
I think I made it.
No, I think you got through all of those. Yeah.
I've not seen any of these ladies perform ever.
Nope.
So
I actually haven't seen any of the ladies that are currently signed to AEW.
Okay. So
honestly, I'm pretty excited about it.
There's a lot to look forward to then. Mm-hmm. And from what I'm aware of, Kenny Omega and Brandy Rhodes, obviously, too, were the spearheads for scouting the women's division.
Right on.
And apparently, this was unbeknownst to me for a long time, but apparently Kenny Omega, that's how he got into wrestling, was actually through Japanese women's wrestling.
Interesting. Okay.
So if there is somebody out there who is a worldwide expert on women's wrestling, it would probably be Kenny Omega.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one I would definitely look forward to, especially if Kenny's putting his stamp on this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Yeah, we're just now, I believe, in the last year or so, starting to get really, really solid women's storylines from WWE. So now that we have another promotion to get really solid women's storylines from, I'm excited.
I am too. It's going to be great for sure. SoCal Uncensored, which is Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky versus the Strong Hearts, Shima, T-Hawk, and El Lindemann. Now, I've seen Shima. I definitely have seen SoCal Uncensored. Mm-hmm. Those guys are awesome. I've seen a little bit of T-Hawk. I haven't really seen El Lindemann. But from what I'm aware of with these guys from OWE, Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, this is definitely going to be another marquee one to pay close attention to.
Awesome.
From everything that I've been told, could certainly be a show stealer.
Yeah.
So look forward to that.
Yeah, SoCal Uncensored, every time they get in the ring, is fantastic.
They're a lot of fun.
I'm not too familiar with Strong Hearts, Shima, T-Hawk, and El Lindemann, but I have seen SoCal Uncensored. So if it's anything like that, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time for sure. Let me see here. Dr. Britt Baker, who I think she's dating or engaged to Adam Cole. Interesting.
Gotcha. Is she actually a doctor?
Yes, dentist.
Nice. That's cool. Okay.
I imagine that really comes in handy because it's like, oh, okay, you lost your teeth during the match?
Yeah.
Oh, I got the hook.
I got you. Yeah. She can knock your teeth out and fix them.
And in. Yeah, there you go. So Dr. Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose versus Kylie Ray. Again, three ladies who I personally have not seen too much of, but I highly look forward to this here. Again, if Kenny's putting his stamp on this women's division and doing the scouting, and of course Brandy Rose herself as well, I expect big things here.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing for this card for me is the obviously the Kenny Omega Chris Jericho match is going to be great. Adam Page versus TBD. TBD is going to be good. Young Bucks going to be good. I'm really excited for the women's matches and the tag team matches more than anything, just because the people that are in charge of putting these matches together know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah,
and have proven that they know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah,
and the women's and tag team division in WWE has been. So I'm super excited to really get a promotion that's backing it 100%.
No, you're 100% right. I do not disagree with anything you just said. Let's see. Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. A battle of eras.
Yep.
A battle of brothers.
Yep.
I really loved the promos that they did.
Yeah. Some of the best promos I've seen, honestly.
In a long time.
Yeah, really. And the Dustin Rhodes promo, super good. But the Cody promo, my God, that might be the best promo I've seen. It was so good.
I was actually a little bit emotional watching that one. It was like, wow, you really actually brought home a lot on this one here.
He just sold it so well, and the story that they're bringing up for this match is just fantastic. I know the match itself is going to be decent enough, but just all the build up towards it has just been picture perfect.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that one I'm really looking forward to. I would want to see them bury the hatchet after this and hook back up as a tag team. I know that we've got a few brother tag teams here, like the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. I think the Rhodes brothers
might as well another one.
Yeah, could definitely be a standout there too. Hopefully competing for the tag titles one day. Speaking of Young Bucks, we've got the Young Bucks defending the AAA World Tag Team Championships. The AAA is an organization from Mexico, of course. The Young Bucks intruded a AAA show and took, I think it was the Rey de Reyes show for AAA, and they took the titles off the Lucha Bros after they had just won it. So a lot of story there, a lot of drama and build has been taking place over the last few months between these two teams. This one has instant classic written all over it.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I would think that the Lucha Bros probably will come away with the victory here. Just based off of everything that I've seen as far as the build to this goes, and it makes more sense here. The Lucha Bros have an exclusive deal that allows for them to go back and forth between AAA and AEW as they please, or work with both organizations. It only makes the most sense to me that they would be the ones doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And plus, the Young Bucks are a little bit more established than Lucha Bros are. So, I mean. It makes sense for the Lucha Bros to go over here just because you're building them into a new promotion with AEW and they need to go over.
And you want to showcase them.
Exactly.
For sure.
If you're going to an AEW show, you know who the Young Bucks are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. You brought this one up earlier, and I'm super sad about it. I really am. Originally scheduled was going to be Hangman Adam Page versus Pac. But due to some creative differences, we will apparently not be having that match. Pac takes himself very seriously as being the Dragon Gate champion right now. He does not want to be shown as weak or have a loss on his record. So, and we see this with the matches he's had just recently with Zack Sabre Jr. and with Will Ospreay. These matches are either ending in disqualifications or in countouts or whatever. So, or time limit draws for that matter. So it's really unfortunate that we won't be getting Pac versus Adam Page. This kind of puts a little bit of a damper on things.
Yeah.
But because we're not about having dampers here on this show, Steven, let's play some If Wishes Were Fishes.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap, indeed. So we asked you guys out there on the Twitterverse here if you had a person that you would like to put in Pac's place for this match to face Hangman Adam Page, who would it be? Just so that we can get your thoughts out here, you guys. Let me see here.
So are we doing our wishes or our fans' wishes?
Well, you know what? I'm a big, stupid poo-poo head. I actually did not send that tweet out. Womp, womp.
Oh.
Okay, well, let's,
Womp, womp.
let's play some If Wishes Were Fishes then. You and I, let's take this thing on. Okay? Yeah.
I mean, there's an obvious first one.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if wishes were fishes,
Yeah.
AEW turns this poop into gold. And, okay, we're not getting Hangman Adam Page versus Pac. But we are getting Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley.
Oh.
If wishes were fishes.
If Wishes Were Fishes.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, I think. If they are in talks right now of getting Jon Moxley onto the AEW roster, they are 100% trying to figure out how he can be in this show. That's without a doubt. If they are that far into the talks. And so if they are, it's unfortunate that Pac had to, take his name out or whatever.
Yeah.
But if they are far enough along into the talks with Moxley, this is a blessing in disguise, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going to give that 3 killer whales.
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
because I think Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page, I think that would be a whale of a time.
That was awesome. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I'm kind of
What were they? Killer whales?
killer whales.
3 killer whales.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be killer and a whale of a time. Look at that. So, I mean, I'm trying to think of, who could it be? Because a lot of the guys that are already on their roster are already booked for matches.
Right.
So it is...
I mean, that's not necessarily saying they can't be in 2.
That is true. That is very, very true. And it doesn't mean either that they couldn't just, bring somebody in.
That's what I'm saying with Jon Moxley.
Yeah. Let's see. What would be something outrageous here? Let's see.
Boogeyman.
There we go. If wishes were fishes, I'd book Hangman Adam Page versus the Boogeyman. It would catch everybody off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hangman Adam Page would be in the ring. He'd be like, da da da. I've got my jacket and my whatever the thing that is on his face. He's got his rope, and then it's the Boogeyman. I'm coming to get you. And he comes out to the ring with the worms in his mouth, and I think people would be like, what the absolute, I think it'd be
So you're serious? You're rolling with this?
Yeah, sure. Why the hell not?
I thought you were kidding at first.
The Boogeyman.
So I didn't think I would have to rate this.
No, but
now I have to.
Think about it.
So give me a second. So I'm just going to say right off the bat, yes.
Yeah.
I would like that to happen.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome.
I think Adam Cole would just completely destroy him, but I think that's, that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
Unless the Boogeyman looks super strong coming out from it. I mean, that's...
I want to see him again. That'd be fantastic. So, yeah, I'm going to go with 6 sockeye salmon.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, but they're really vibrant and red, much like Boogeyman in the blood and his face paint.
If the Boogeyman was a fish, it would look just like
it would look like the sockeye salmon.
The sockeye salmon.
Yeah.
There we go. I'll take it. It's a good fish for that pick.
Man. That's something I didn't think I needed. Hangman Adam Page versus the Boogeyman.
Yeah, I think
I need it now, though.
I think we built it properly enough at this point.
Man, that'd be fantastic.
Well, go on, Steven, then. If wishes were fishes, let's pick out another person for Hangman Adam Page.
Another person for Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah. There's a few.
There's not really that many.
No, seriously, there are a lot.
Let's see here. Do you have another one?
I do, actually.
Okay, let's go ahead with yours.
Okay. So, I'm kind of doing a throwback here. There's a guy who is completely independent. He's not signed by anybody. He is actually kind of a controversial figure, and he was actually at the All In show, the original one. I think
I know where you're going with this.
I'm going with Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
I think Joey Ryan would be an interesting pick. I think there was rumors that he could be popping up in AEW, and I mean, from everything that I've understood, he's worked closely with the guys, before he's been on Being the Elite. I think it would make a lot of sense for it to be Joey Ryan. Would he do AEW full time? Perhaps not. I mean, if he did, he would definitely have to dial down a lot of what makes Joey Ryan Ryan.
Yeah.
But it would be something very, very interesting. And I think Joey would be a good opponent for Hangman Page.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see what kind of fishes we got here. I can give that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's. One thing I discovered with this wishes for fishes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fishes.
There's a lot of fish out there.
There's a lot of different fish. So we're gonna go with a lined surgeon fish.
Oh, what?
1.5 lined surgeon fishes.
Oh, yeah.
They're very bright, very green, very colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey Ryan's a very colorful guy too. Yeah. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
We're going 1.5 lined surgeon fish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty fair.
I like that.
Yeah,
there's some pretty fish on this picture.
Yeah, there are a lot of pretty fish.
Like a golden angel fish,
yeah.
But it's red. I don't know why it's golden, but
yeah, no, look at those fish.
Mm-hmm. So if wishes were fishes,
yeah,
Hangman Adam Page would face Marty Scurll.
Oh,
at Double or Nothing.
Dang.
I fell in love with Marty Scurll watching Progress, and I haven't seen that many matches with him, but he just has this air about him.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic heel, and the character that he plays is just like, I don't even know. It's like, what would you equate his character to?
The Penguin from Batman.
Perfect. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to go with Marty Scurll. I would love to see more of him. And I know once AEW is doing, monthly pay-per-views and weekly shows, I'm going to be watching a lot of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for Marty Scurll to be on there.
Yeah. And I mean, it would make a lot of sense. He was a member of Bullet Club with all of them. He is in Japan right now, which, I mean, he's doing the Best of the Super Juniors. I think he might be competing on Friday. It would be tough, but it may not be outside the realm of possibility. So that would be a good shout.
That would make Double or Nothing for me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with 4 electric eels. Because
that would be electric.
It would be electric, and Marty Scurll is slippery and slithery,
yes.
like an eel.
Yes, that's perfect.
So I think we covered that one pretty well. Good.
Any of those would be awesome.
Good,
honestly.
Good if wishes were fishes.
Yeah. See, I was kidding about the Boogeyman, but like now I would love if it was Boogeyman or Marty Scurll.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic. Why not both?
Yeah, triple threat match, Boogeyman.
No, I'm saying a tag team between Marty Scurll and Boogeyman.
Oh, really?
Handicap match.
Yeah, I mean Marty Scurll needs to get a villain association together.
Yeah. What better way to do that than to team up with with the Boogeyman.
He's got a really good tag team partner right now, a guy by the name of Brody King. If y'all are familiar with Brody King, he's just this giant evil dude, covered in tattoos, super athletic and agile for his size.
Nice.
But yeah, I think he would fit really well in the AEW crew as well. So maybe keep an eye out for that one too. Brody King. Obviously, main event time.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, the rematch from Wrestle Kingdom 12. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, you don't really need to say much about this match. I mean, look at the names that are in this match. It's going to be fantastic, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And Chris Jericho's debuting a new finish move, a spinning back elbow. He's been doing a lot of MMA training recently at Dave Bautista's MMA gym down in Florida. So I'm thinking, that could be something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Kenny better watch out for that strike.
I'm betting we're going to see kind of like a pretty jacked Jericho.
Yeah?
Honestly. Yeah, because he obviously he's in great shape. Like that.
For a man of his age.
He's in great shape.
Yeah.
But he's looking a little, just a little pudgy in New Japan. Yeah. Pudgy might not be the right word. Chris Jericho, I love you, man. I'm not trying to.
You're still in far better shape than I am.
100%.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna see jacked Jericho.
Yeah. No, I think that's a real strong possibility.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially with all the training he's been doing recently.
Well, and him doing this new finisher it's an interesting development because, in all honesty, I've never really known Jericho as a striker per se.
Right.
But I have known Jericho as as somebody who's obviously very skilled and very experienced. If there is somebody who can change his nature, or at least change the way that he plays the game. Well, and if there's somebody who knows properly where to hit somebody with an elbow, it's probably Chris Jericho.
Yeah, very true.
So, I mean, I personally would go with Kenny Omega in this match, but that's just me. I think Kenny's coming away with the win, though he could put over Chris Jericho. I mean, I do see that as a possibility too.
Right on.
So that's AEW Double or Nothing. That's our preview. I hope you guys really enjoy the show, and obviously we'll cover it next week when we review the show after it's aired. Let's talk about something that gained a lot of traction. We tweeted out something earlier this week that got a lot of y'all's attention, and that was this Wade Keller interview. There was a caller on the Wade Keller show who said that he had friends. He had 3 friends who worked within WWE that were part of the writing team that were airing a lot of grievances, and he let a lot of things be known. I personally err to take some of this with a grain of salt because we're not hearing from them directly. We're a source of a source, really. But there are some interesting things here about Triple H being backstage, being frustrated, kind of putting an arm around some of the talents, and especially the NXT ones, and kind of consoling them about the current state of affairs.
Yeah.
About Triple H and Steph and Shane all kind of talking to Vince about and airing some of these frustrations. It didn't paint Vince in a very positive light.
Yeah, let's go ahead and step back a little bit and kind of lay down what was really said on the report itself. So a lot of things came out basically mostly about Vince McMahon and the decisions that he makes on Raw. Again, take most of this with a grain of salt. None of this stuff has been,
It's hard to verify a lot.
It's very hard to verify it. But a lot of the stuff and it sucks to say this, but it kind of sounds true in some of the ways. Some people were saying how the wild card rule wasn't in the script. And Vince is kind of just going around and making all these changes, not really talking to anybody.
Right.
If he has a story that he wants, no other story is as good. That is what's going to go down. Things like that.
Well, and I mean, it sounded like vindication for a lot of the writing team from creative as well. And I know that we in the past have talked about our frustrations with WWE's creative direction, and we still do to this day, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
In no way, shape, or form do we directly hold the writing team around Vince McMahon directly responsible. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the responsibility lies with one man, and one man alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that the members of the creative writing team pitch him all sorts of ideas that are creative and out of the box thinking and things that we as an audience would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But because it may not be one man's cup of tea, we may never see those ideas brought to life.
Yeah,
unfortunately. There was some aspects of this which I think are quite obvious and that do vindicate this caller quite a bit. Particularly the one where they say that Sami Zayn's not the one who's coming up with these bits to come out and talk about on his segments week in and week out. That's coming directly from Vince himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vince is known to do that on commentary. Vince is known to do that in all sorts of different ways. JBL for a long time was the talking piece for Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see that Sami Zayn coming out is Vince airing his own grievances about his audience. Another thing too, and I think this is also pretty obvious, is that the caller noted that from everything that they've been told by these three members of WWE's staff, that there's no change in direction or no chance of Vince stepping down once he starts doing the XFL, which is, to me, very unsettling.
Extremely. If we're getting... And this is going to sound super hard on WWE. Obviously, we do a wrestling show. I love WWE.
We want them to do well.
But if this is the product that we're getting from WWE when Vince is completely focused on it, what kind of product are we going to get when he's only half focused on it?
Right. Well, and it's sad to say, but with Vince advancing in age, is it really the most positive thing for him to be taking these two things on?
Is it really the most possible thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
I don't know. I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I can barely do it, let alone running two multi-billion-dollar companies.
Being the owner of a football organization and being the owner of a wrestling organization.
And you're 76 years old.
And
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. I wish Vince the best, and I
want him to turn it around.
Yeah, I want him to turn it around, but it's not looking like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it.
Hopefully, this AEW thing coming before Vince needing to do XFL will be a major wake-up call, and he'll find some way to just dissociate himself from the day-to-day running of WWE, and hopefully he puts it in the hands of the people who should be trusted most here, Triple H, and maybe to a lesser extent, maybe Steph and Shane.
Yeah,
I think Steph.
I don't think to a lesser extent. I think that should be the dream team.
Yeah,
to be honest, like Triple H,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson.
No, but Triple H understands the wrestlers.
Yeah,
Steph and Shane understand the business.
Yeah,
I really think that is the way to go. Unfortunately, I think that AEW almost WWE is going to have to suffer a lot before changes that need to happen do happen.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but WWE is going to have to take some punches before they realize really what's going on here.
Yep. 100%. And I think a perfect person that exemplifies this is Ricochet.
Yeah.
Ricochet's booking has been schizophrenic as of late. Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah.
I do hope that he does have a really good showing in Money in the Bank and they pick things up for him, because he really does deserve to be a star. And having losing outings to Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode with really no build at all is really disappointing.
Yeah. Well, we could go on and on about disappointing things in WWE right now, to be honest. I love WWE. I love the art of wrestling. But they're not giving us a lot to be happy with or to be excited about, us fans,
Let's talk about something that has made us really happy. There's some great tournaments going on.
I know freaking great tournaments going on right now.
And I know we've been rambling for weeks about them, but really, in all seriousness, Best of the Super Juniors from New Japan has been awesome as of recent. There have been some great matches. There have been some guys who are really turning the corner and becoming stars for New Japan, like Sho and Yo from Roppongi 3K. They've really had some great outings. Even some of the guys that you would normally expect this from, guys like Will Ospreay has been good. El Phantasmo had his debut and he was fantastic. Shingo Takagi has been great. He's undefeated in the tournament so far. Bandito's had a really good showing. And then our friend, of course, Jonathan Gresham, he's doing well.
Mr. Octopus himself.
Mr. Octopus himself. He's doing very, very well in ring. We just need those results to translate into wins.
I got you.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think he's got a really bright future there himself too. We keep seeing these vignettes of a possible Britishman, Englishman coming over to New Japan to feud with Juice Robinson. If it was up to me, and it's not, but if it was, and Jonathan Gresham's got a particularly good tag team partner by the name of Chris Brooks, who would be awesome for New Japan, either them two as singles competitors or rehashing, CCK.
Yeah, I just watched Chris Brooks in my first ever singles match, watching him in Super Strong Style.
Yeah.
Man.
He's really good.
That guy makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right, I'm going to kick you in the face now.
Yeah.
That looked like it hurt.
Yep. Very effortless.
Very effortless, yeah.
Big fan of his. He turned down being in NXT UK, which is an interesting career move for him.
Yeah.
I think obviously he wants to make sure he has as many irons and as many fires as possible. And I think if he did go to New Japan, I think it would be a great move for sure. But speaking of Chris Brooks, obviously you mentioned Super Strong Style 16 tournament. You finally watched night one.
Yes, finally got through night one.
We're not going to break down the whole review just yet.
Right.
We have plans for that, ladies and gentlemen. But what were your overall thoughts with this being like your first real introduction into a Progress Wrestling show?
Man, freaking fantastic. The wrestling is, the actual in-ring action is just on another level than what we get in WWE. And honestly, what we get in some NXT matches, I would say, shots fired, sorry. But man, Super Strong Style 16 is just fantastic. During the first day, I don't want to go too much into the matches, but
what were some of the matches that you liked most from day one?
So the absolute best match that I saw day one was Jordan Devlin versus Lucky Kid.
Yeah, that was a good match.
Lucky Kid is awesome. He just has a really, really cool character about him. Also pretty talented in the ring. Jordan Devlin, though.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
We talked about Chris Brooks looking effortless. Jordan Devlin, even when he's getting messed up, he's in control.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Like he has the mind games and he knows, oh, you're grabbing my arm here? All right, I'm going to go for your leg here. And it's just, Jordan Devlin is awesome.
When I first saw Jordan Devlin and when he got a lot of exposure to the WWE audience, when they first started up NXT UK, or even just the UK tournaments with the UK Championship, he got really slandered, I think, pretty unfairly by a lot of people. They were calling him like Finn Balor light or like diet Finn Balor.
All right.
Yeah, I was like, okay, there's obviously comparisons there because Finn trained Jordan Devlin, but Jordan Devlin's his own guy. Like, he is absolutely spectacular here in this showing. He's and there's more to come, obviously, with you watching night 2 and night 3 here. So I really think that Jordan Devlin's going to break out really, really big sooner rather than later.
For sure, yeah. I definitely see the comparison in the styles between Finn Balor and Jordan Devlin, but I feel like with Finn Balor, he's more of, and this isn't a knock on either of them, but I feel like with Finn Balor, he's more of like an explosive, I need to get this done right now in order to win, whereas Jordan Devlin has a very meticulous plan to the match, and he knows down to the wire where he needs to be at any given time, and he portrays that really well throughout the match as well. So definitely similar, but just a little bit different.
He seems like a better, more well-rounded wrestler.
Yeah.
Not a knock to Finn Balor.
No.
I definitely expect that Jordan Devlin could surpass Finn Balor in a lot of different aspects.
Well, how old is Jordan Devlin?
Good question.
And how old is Finn Balor?
Finn is probably in his mid-30s, I would say.
Really?
Let me see here. Wikipedia. Yeah, Finn Balor is 37. So he's he's getting up there. You would never know by his physique.
No. Maximum 31, I would have guessed. Like, honestly.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, he is very, very interesting. And then Jordan Devlin, he's about my age. He's 29.
Okay.
So Jordan Devlin still has a lot of time.
He's got a lot of time, for sure. And for him to be this good at 29, man.
Him and Will Ospreay are very, very talented prodigies.
Yeah,
both really.
I was going to use the word prodigy as well. Yeah,
both getting their starts in NXT, not NXT. Progress rather, and then like on the flip side of the coin, you've got guys like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, neither of which unfortunately were at this tournament. They're kind of more full time now. But if you do subscribe to Progress Wrestling, which I recommend for sure that you do, definitely check out their whole catalog. You will see guys like Trent Seven, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, obviously.
Johnny
Gargano was in there. A guy who I'm a really big fan of, Mark Haskins. He's in Ring of Honor now, but Mark Haskins is great. Tommaso Ciampa, Zack Sabre Jr., Samoa Joe made a cameo appearance once. Matt Riddle was there for a while. Adam Cole made some cameos.
Kyle O'Reilly,
Roderick Strong.
Lots of big names, guys.
Yeah.
Lots of big names.
And again, if this is your introduction to Progress Wrestling, definitely recommend checking out this year's Super Strong style first, and then going all the way back. I would say, and this is not a knock to Progress, I would say probably your first 10 shows are pretty skippable. What I would try and do is find where the Will Ospreay, Jimmy Havoc feud begins, and then go forward from there, because it only gets better, and you get a real nice introduction to all these stars that we just named off. We do have a quick mailbag that I want to get to, because that's just what we do. Here at Headlock Talk.
Got the mail sack.
The mail sack.
Wait, crap! Did we say that on air last time or no?
I don't know if we did or not.
Mail sack.
Mail sack. MAIL.
Oh, not MALE.
No,
it's not the mail sack.
No. We're talking about postage.
Now that I'm saying it on air, I'm pretty sure we decided to not say that on air last time, and then I just did it anyway. So you're welcome, listeners.
Well, the mail's out of the bag now.
There's no more mails in the sack.
Let's see here. Let's open up some mail here. From Clotheslined.
Let's open up some sacks.
Oh, goodness.
All right, we can cut that. Sorry.
From Clotheslined on Twitter. They are on Twitter at Clotheslined, spelled with 2 Ds. They write to us again asking, who's the best physique in pro wrestling right now? It's got to be Taiji Ishimori. Dude is
he's up there.
Yeah, he's
up there.
He's
for
up
sure.
there. I mean, you can't really take anything away from guys like Finn Balor or Will Ospreay either, though.
It's a different type of physique.
Right.
But still very, very much like in shape,
Right. I mean, if we're talking about like 6-pack abs, I mean, like
Bobby Lashley.
Oh God.
I mean, if we're talking straight physique, not wrestling talent.
I mean, that dude is a genetic monster.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we're going straight just like physique, I think I would have to go with Bobby Lashley, honestly.
Yeah, that's a really hard choice.
But if we're going with like actual wrestling talent, then I might go to someone else.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Lashley's a pretty good pick. Taiji Ishimori's really good. I would say Finn Balor's up there as well.
Dude,
Kenny Omega.
Tony Nese. Tony Nese is jacked, dude.
Tony Nese is pretty jacked. Tommaso Ciampa looked pretty jacked too when he came back.
Yeah.
He had the six pack and was rocking some big biceps and triceps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this
Candice LeRae has a pretty.
I was about to say, is this male wrestlers? Because this can go real PG-13 real quick.
Yeah, I just I didn't want to gush over all the guys. You know, I had to throw in Candice LeRae there for the save face.
Okay. Alexa Bliss, just to save face.
There you go. Yeah. So that's our official Headlock Talk answer. Candice LeRae and Alexa Bliss have the best physiques in all of wrestling. You can thank my wife later.
Thanks, Clothesline.
Thanks, Clothesline, for your question. At Sports Opinions Podcast, again, that's at Sports Opinion 30 on Twitter. They ask, will Ric Flair have a future in WWE after his recovery, or will he start? Will he get sidelined for his health? I think I understand what they're asking here. I mean, we really haven't seen much of Ric Flair in the recent anyway, right? Like WrestleMania 35 seemed to be kind of a one-off kind of thing where he got involved in the Triple H Batista match.
Right.
Oops, spoilers. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, he's gonna be there. I mean, he's not just gonna go away forever. Now, do I think he'll be like there every week? Ringside? No, I don't think that. But I don't think he's going anywhere, especially with Charlotte still being in there. He's gonna be around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he'll still have a presence. He'll still be. I mean, he's obviously a legend. Yeah, so he'll still have his place in WWE. But I mean, we never expected to see Ric Flair on TV much anymore. So, I mean, I would say he's probably going to have the same, if not a little bit less, overall influence than what he had previously.
I mean, honestly, I was really surprised that he was a part of that Triple H Batista feud. But I figured that they were just going to roll with it. I will say I was surprised about Dave attacking Ric Flair before his, what was it, like a Hall of Fame ceremony or birthday? It was his birthday.
It was his birthday. 70th birthday.
Yeah, I thought, that was going to be a real thing. Ric Flair was going to come out. They were all going to be like, "Yay, Ric Flair!
Hey,
70th birthday, woohoo!" And then we weren't going to see Ric Flair for a long time. So I was super surprised that he was in that feud at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he'll be around, but not going to be big.
Philly Sports Passion Podcast writes into us again. They are at Philly SP Podcast on Twitter. They have asked 3 questions actually. 1, do you think they announced the replacement for Pac versus Paige, or do they leave it as a mystery opponent? That way it's more of a surprise. I lean towards the latter here. That they lean as a mystery.
Definitely.
Get some tension here.
Yeah. With matches like Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros and Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, they don't need to build like a crazy amount of hype. Like it's there.
Well, and they've only got a week.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that's not a lot of time.
What's one week of hype gonna do? Yeah.
Do you guys, number 2, do you guys think the replacement is other than Moxley, which is the hot name replacement now? I guess, do we think that it's John Moxley? I think chances are fair.
Mr. Anderson.
You think that it's going to be Mr. Anderson? Or was that like a Matrix reference?
No, it was Mr. Anderson.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ken Anderson comes back and ruins the whole show. It's because he's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Mr.
Anderson. No, I think we touched on this during If Wishes Were Fishes. So I hope that we gave you some good answers there, Philly Sports Podcast, Philly Sports Passion Podcast, in regards to who it could possibly be.
Marty Skull, please.
Yeah,
please.
Boogeyman, though.
But honestly, though, you guys think we're kidding? I would love for this to happen, and just have Adam Page just like super confused, like,
what the hell's going on?
It's the boogeyman.
Yeah, and you got Boogeyman walking down with his crazy walk.
Yeah, and
Oh, man.
all the worms
All
hanging
the
out.
worms. Oh yeah.
More importantly, I think here's a good question. What's the future for Pac in AEW is also what they ask. And I think that it's it's pretty cut and dry. I think that he's there for the long haul. I just think that him being the Dragon Gate champion right now kind of muddles things because he does take that role very, very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would imagine and I would hope that somebody internally within AEW, I could think of 4 names at least that come to mind, sit down and have a talk with them and be like, listen, this is serious too. We're paying you to perform for us as well. What is it going to take for you to actually play ball with us now?
Right.
So will it take Dragon Gate caving in a little bit and having Pac drop the title? Possibly. I think that could smooth things over, though I know Pac takes himself very, very seriously as a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so. Look at what happened when he was the Cruiserweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
He got dismissed by Vince and was made a fool of, and he stormed out.
Mm-hmm.
So rightfully so. I think Pac has a reason why he feels the way he feels, but I do think that he needs to start playing ball a little bit here too.
Yeah. Well, I understand his thoughts and feelings towards it, but at the same time, you gotta think this isn't the same promo, man. We're not looking to take anything away from you. We want to build you,
right?
And I agree with you. I don't know what it's going to take for him to have to play ball, but I think that would be the smartest decision for him.
Yep. Absolutely agree. Well, Steven, we still have the interview with the one and only Queen of NE here coming right up. But before that, do you have anything else for our listeners?
Not really. Watch Super Strong Style 16. If you haven't seen it yet, you're missing a lot. I still haven't seen day 2 and 3.
Oh,
looking forward to that. It's going to be really, really good.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to hear from you about day 2 and day 3. Yeah. And once again, we have a big surprise planned as far as getting those shows covered for you guys.
Yeah.
So we want to find some interesting perspectives here. And so if you guys are willing to go out of your way, if you're that kind of fan and you enjoy what we've talked about the Progress show so far, I highly recommend Demand-Progress. Sign up. It's only about $8 a month or so. You get all the back catalog. You get all the shows as they come out. I think it's like a week delay normally from when they take place to when they actually get uploaded onto Demand-Progress.
Mm-hmm.
But we would love to have you guys join in on the conversation. If you're big wrestling fans and you want to see great wrestling, if you're tired of seeing the WWE product or frustrated, well, this is definitely one for you.
Yeah.
So keep us in mind. Let us know. Again, we're going to sign off here. But again, immediately following us signing off, we've got the interview with the Queen of NE as she's heading to Money in the Bank tonight.
Yeah.
So big shout out to the Queen.
Yeah,
super jealous.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Queen for us letting her interview us and us interview her on this occasion. You can find all of our episodes online. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube, of course. So definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We surely appreciate you guys listening to us so far, and a big thank you to our listeners who always tune in and catch our episodes and leave us feedback.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Big shout out to all of you guys for doing so. You can hit us up on Twitter at Headlock Talk. And if you really like us, you can always write into us, headlocktalk@gmail.com. If you have questions, or even if you want us to, if you want to ask us something, or tune into the show, we would certainly love to hear.
If you want us to talk about something,
yeah. We're always open to feedback. So we'd love to hear from you. And again, don't forget. Hit that subscribe button and give us a rating on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, whatever your choice of streaming service is. Other than that, I've been Tanner. I think I'll still be Tanner.
Wait, you have been?
I have
Tanner?
been.
Oh, are you Tanner currently?
Maybe I'll get a name change.
Oh no.
I'll have to think about this one.
But I know that you're Stephen Grudy, the only Stephen Grudy.
I am.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
It's been a pleasure, y'all. Again, stay tuned right after this for the interview that we have with the Queen of NE. It's been a pleasure, y'all, and thank you again for listening.
Later, y'all.
Later.
Talk. We actually have a special guest this week. None other than the one, the only, the Queen of NE is with us here. Queen, how you doing?
I'm so good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Doing good.
Well, that's good. It is my honor and privilege to be on Headlock Talk. I'm so excited.
We're excited to have you. So tonight's actually a really big night for you in particular. You're actually going to Money in the Bank tonight.
I am going to Money in the Bank tonight, which is kind of wild. When these tickets popped up and they were in Hartford, I was like, oh, well, then I have to go. I'm not far away from there at all. So let's make this happen. Yeah.
No, totally makes all the sense to me. That's for sure.
Mhm.
So before we dive into all the AEW-ness, let's talk about Money in the Bank a little bit. Are there matches or is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to most tonight?
I think what's cool about Money in the Bank are the actual briefcase ladder matches, right? That's the whole reason we're here. It's called Money in the Bank for a reason. They put on really cool ladder matches. You're going to get some great spots with the individuals that are in these matches. Particularly, I think the men's, we're going to see some really cool spots from Ricochet and Mustafa, and that's going to be really cool to see. I'm also really interested how the ladies are going to work now that Alexa is out and Nikki Cross is in. Very interested to see how she's going to perform on this massive pay-per-view. This is her biggest thing since being called up, so this is a huge deal for her. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Kofi versus Kevin Owens. I'm really looking forward to seeing what I would consider and other people might consider a dream match between Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Very excited for that. The rest I could probably take or leave, but and that includes the women. I don't like Lacey Evans. I'm not really excited to see her.
Oh, come on. You're not excited for Roman Reigns versus Elias?
I'm probably going to go get a pretzel during that time. I'm just going to be honest. Because Bobby Lashley isn't anywhere in sight, thank God, I will probably use that as my bathroom break.
There you go.
There you go.
Sorry, Roman, but no. Yeah, so in general, I'm looking forward to it, though. I think it's going to be fun. The Cruiserweight is, I think, going to be a great showing. I'm excited for that, even though it's in the pre-show. Overall, I think it's going to be pretty solid, and I'm hoping for some shenanigans. This is the pay-per-view where almost anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure. And it's gonna give a lot of I guess notice for the future for sure as to how things should shake up.
Yeah.
Is there anybody for tonight's Money in the Bank who stands out to you most for both the men's and the women's as far as maybe possible winners?
I think Andrade is going to take the briefcase. That's my pick. And I'm picking Bayley to win the women's Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Those were my two original gut feelings at the beginning when they first announced this match. These matches, respectively. And I haven't been swayed otherwise since. I could see it going other ways. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, right? This is kind of unpredictable. But I think this moment and who they choose to win these cases and how these matches play out tonight is going to really be an eye-opener for us WWE fans. What direction are they going in? Are they going to start to cement some storylines and kick their butts in gear? Or are we going to get same old, same old?
No, I 100% agree with that for sure, especially considering with all of the news regarding AEW now. I think it's prime time for them to, like you said, kick their butts into gear.
Yeah.
Well, they need to, I think, yeah.
So you mentioned Andrade. I mean, do you think it's any possibility that he might consider, or even Bayley to that degree, might consider challenging for the titles on the other brands? I know both are on SmackDown. I mean, do you think it could be a possibility you see Andrade or Bayley or both try and challenge for the Raw titles rather than the SmackDown ones?
It's highly possible. I see it more with Bayley than I do Andrade. With this whole wild card rule, it's kind of like the Wild West. We're not really sure what it means. They haven't given us any definition. They haven't like explained it really, and it's already changed a couple of times. So like, who really knows what's happening? But I could see, right? In my predictions, I picked Becky was going to go over Lacey, and I picked that Charlotte was going to be 9-time. And I think, Becky's going to be like, okay, well, I have one belt left. I'm good. And she's just went through 2 matches. I also think that Lacey's going to beat her down after she loses. So she's going to be vulnerable. And then she's going to go through a match with Charlotte, which we know is going to be a ringer. And then she's going to be vulnerable. And if I were Bayley, my pick to win, that would be a time I would come down and destroy her. And what better way to shock the system, no pun intended, than to come down the ramp, give the 4 horsemen wave to Charlotte as she passes her. Like you think it's going to be her, right? And then she bypasses her and goes right to Becky. And what shocking moment could it be if we end up with Becky, no belts?
Ooh. Oh, man.
I mean, that'll make some waves, don't you think?
Yeah, that would be intense.
It really would be.
Just a thought. I don't know if it'll happen, but if anybody's going to cash in, I feel like it's going to be the women tonight and not the men. I think they're going to tease the men to see what they're going to do, like where it's going to end up.
No, I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot of credence to everything that you just said. Yeah. I think that would be how one would do a professional booking of that show. I hope that they go in some of these directions here that we're talking about. I've actually got a general question for both of you here, kind of a walk down memory road, if you will. But before we get to that, you did mention the dream match here, and I think Steven and I both agree here. AJ versus Seth is a definite dream match. Who do you see coming out on top for that?
Seth Rollins is going to retain here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you think so too? Good.
Agree.
Team Seth Rollins. Not because I'm particularly liking Seth Rollins, but I think that's where the storyline is building.
Yeah, I just think with Seth Rollins as champion right now, we really haven't gotten that much from him. It's been a lot of, bland scripted promos and, in my opinion, a couple lackluster matches. I don't think it's time to take it off of him just yet. We need a little bit more from him.
Yeah,
I like it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I like it. I was agreeing.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that for sure. I think it would be a surprise if AJ took the belt off of Seth. I would even consider it maybe even a bit of an upset if AJ took the belt off of Seth. But we'll just have to wait and see. I really do hope that they give these guys a lot of time. If they gave them, I know this is like a if wishes were fishes scenario here, but if they gave them 25 or 30 minutes, I think it would be a barn burner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's a lot to ask on a WWE card, though.
Oh, I know.
we can try to have nice things. I don't know that we're gonna get it, but we're gonna try.
Absolutely. Let's talk about AEW, and I know you and all the awesome folks over at Brainbuster Radio are doing a big AEW week this week.
Yes.
So what are your initial impressions here of the AEW to TNT TV deal?
I'm psyched. I'm really excited. It's on a channel that's easily accessible, not freaking Pursuit. Like, what is that? I don't get that channel. I can't watch you, Impact. I have to watch you on Twitch. I don't know what else I can do here.
Yeah.
This is very easily accessible. This is a big deal. They're going to be on Tuesdays. It's going to be filling that void for when SmackDown leaves Tuesdays and goes to Fridays. What a great time slot for them to take it, I'm really excited to see how long the program is going to be. I'm looking forward to how they're going to be booking said program. How are they going to line up these matches? What are going to be the results of Double or Nothing and Fight for the Fallen? And how are those two things going to tie into their very first episode and their very first season on TNT? It's so interesting to speculate about and research into and talk about with other people because of how new this is going to be with not only the group of people, but the program in general, I think is going to be very different.
For sure. Well, and I do remember, even as young as I was, when WCW did their first show.
Mhm.
When they first hit TNT, and how big and exciting that was, and all the build that went into it. So that was particularly awesome. I think I'm getting a lot of the same vibes. I hope that they don't go down the same road as WCW, of course. But it is interesting how Turner basically has agreed that AEW would be supplied with enough money to do all the production for their shows, and then also having like an ad split deal where they're getting extra funding. So a lot of people
Mhm.
were talking about, well, will AEW have to pay to be on TV? And it definitely doesn't seem to be the case here. What would you kind of going down this memory lane here? As far as AEW is concerned, I know that with WCW they had Lex Luger come out on their first episode. Do you expect any kind of extra surprises or anything like that possibly for AEW's first show on TNT?
I'm gonna say yeah. I think there are individuals, we'll put that with a big S, that are very interested in what AEW is doing, but maybe locked down, so to speak, in other areas. And they may have to wait, you know? They may have to ride something out for a little while. And after that has been ridden to its conclusion, they may or may not show up on episode number 1 of AEW. I'm just saying it's highly possible.
Okay, well, cool.
I don't know what it's going to be per se, right? I can't see into the future, but I'm going to say that for their first episode, they're going to want to make even a more massive splash than they are right now. So I could see that happening.
I mean, honestly, at this point, they've teased a lot of different acquisitions and stuff like that. They have the buying power to pull off some kind of crazy surprise like that. Like you said, Queen, maybe not on the first episode, just because timing may not be on their side with some scenarios, but they definitely have the buying power for it. And so I would be surprised if we don't get some kind of crazy off the wall acquisition like that,
Something unexpected. Yeah, I agree with you.
Are there any names that either of the two of you have that you think could be possibilities?
I mean, there's one obvious one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really want to take everyone's answer.
Go for it, honey. I'll probably back you up.
I mean, it's almost set in stone at this point. I think that we'll be seeing Jon Moxley on AEW sooner rather than later.
I think so too, and I think it's going to be a lot sooner than later.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Well, and Jack Swagger, he would be Steve and I were talking about him off air just a moment ago. I think he would be an interesting pickup as well, if that's something that he can flex with his Bellator commitments, of course.
That would be very interesting.
For sure. Are there any matches that you would like to see booked on that first episode of AEW TV?
Well, I would love to see what they're going to do based off of the match of Double or Nothing. The 21-man Casino Battle Royale is supposed to be for the future up-and-coming AEW Heavyweight Championship. So I would love to see how that story is going to start to get flushed out on that first episode. How are they going to showcase that? How are they going to build a story between these two people? Because what they have, in between, right? They have some stuff happening between now and October, but it's not going to be visible and present on a weekly, daily basis. So I'm interested. They're going to have to build social media ways. They're going to have to do promos. They're going to have to do stuff at Fight for the Fallen. So there's things they're going to have to do to build towards that. But I'm very curious and interested how that match is going to be built and told, the story.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that's definitely good. I know people. There was a bunch of different matches being called out, and we had a little Twitter poll here for the show, and there were people talking about doing like Pac versus Kenny and that kind of thing there. Speaking of Pac, did
God.
you know where I'm going with this? Then.
I do.
So kind of fill in the blanks here, if you can. I mean, is there anybody who stands out to you that you would see or want to see take Pac's place in that match with Adam Page at Double or Nothing?
When Moxley gives me a vignette and the dice says 25,
Mm-hmm.
he's telling me he's going to be somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
And originally, my thought was, well, maybe he'll be the 21st man in this battle royal, and he'll just make waves that way, right? Because we had everything kind of all set. Now, I'm thinking, well, if this is really happening, okay, if this is really a work, not a work, and it's really happening, I would love that. I think that would be awesome. And I don't know that we're going to know anything until right before the pay-per-view.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. I think, like we said, we're going to see Jon Moxley sooner rather than later. I think he's looking to jump in head first, really just, like get out of the unfortunate situation that he's been in for the past few months and really just go in really strong. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Plus, he'll be a great... he's not going to be the same type of heel as Pac. Pac is his own animal, and he's so great at what he does. The whole narrative of what he did at the show last night was perfect for his character. It makes you think about, what he stands for as a wrestler as well, which, that's a whole other discussion. But having another heel step into that role, such as Moxley, and coming in real hot, I think that's going to be super. I would like to see it personally.
Yeah. No, I completely agree there. Let's kind of take a stroll through the Double or Nothing card real quick here, and we definitely want to get your thoughts on this here, Queen. Okay. So we kind of covered, Page and mystery opponent, let's say. SoCal Uncensored with Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky will be taking on the Strong Hearts, led by Shima. I think he'll be with T-Hawk and L. Lindemann. I've not seen too much of T-Hawk and L. Lindemann per se, but I know with Shima, if these are guys who are handpicked by him, they got to be good. So with wins and losses meaning a whole lot more with AEW, what do you see kind of transpiring here with this match?
For people who have not checked out OWE, you need to do that immediately. Okay. Because it is nothing you've ever seen before. I can say that in all honesty. And I was just talking about this with JPQ. And as we all know, he's the guy that knows pretty much a little bit about everything or a lot of it about something. And even he was like, I had to look them up and figure out what was going on. They are innovators in the wrestling business. And you are going to have your minds blown when you see these people. This match has the most potential, I think, to broaden people's minds as to what AEW is going to give them with this partnership. Y'all aren't ready for this if you haven't seen it. I'm telling you, it's going to be a shocker. And with these wins and losses, I think SCU is going to do the veteran thing, and I think they're going to put these new talents over, and I think Strong Hearts are going to win.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. I've seen very little of OWE. I think I saw a clip that they had. I think there was some kind of like international talent show that was going on, kind of like America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent. Well, I don't know where exactly this was, but there were some OWE guys there, and just a little snippet of what I saw was pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. We've got Dr. Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose and Kylie Ray. Now, I know I've seen a lot of Britt Baker. Kylie Ray and Nyla Rose, though, are a little bit new to me. Do you know anything about these three ladies?
So I like Kylie Ray a lot. She's Smiley Kylie. She's got a great gimmick, of course. But what's cool about Kylie is, she's very peppy and shiny and smiley and welcoming. But when she gets in the ring, she's gonna go. Okay. She's very talented. Nyla Rose, for me, is new. And, as the first transgender woman in such a prevalent company, this is a big deal for her. If you haven't seen her, it's a lot of power. She's strong style for sure. And I think Kylie Rae's going to have a tough time in this match with Britt Baker and Nyla. They are both very aggressive. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch how they're going to be building this women division around, this triple threat match.
Okay. Yeah, that'll definitely sound like one to watch out for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I've got kind of a roster of the 20-man casino battle royale here. I've got like Sunny Kiss, Brandon Cutler, Glacier,
Yep.
Brian Pillman Jr., Joey Janela, MJF, Billy Gunn's going to be in there, Jimmy Havoc's going to be in there, guys like Michael Nakazawa and Jungle Boy. Is there anybody who stands out to you as maybe getting that shot at the future AEW World Title from this Casino Battle Royale?
Yeah, it's hard because we don't know all the entrants. So it's hard for me to say for sure because I'm not sure who they're going to pull out of the hat. I think we're going to see a lot of people we don't know. A lot of people that we're going to have to be like by our phones Googling like, okay, who is this and where do they come from, right? Because we're going to have to kind of figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But of the list, Joey Janela jumps out to me. And so does MJF. So those are the two that were like, oh, okay, I'm going to put my little check mark next to them. I ultimately picked Joey, but I really can't pick until I know who else is in there. But yeah, those would be my top two.
This one's especially hard for me just because most of these guys are new to me, other than Jimmy Havoc really is the only one that I would know.
Yeah, Jimmy Havoc's great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, his last match in Progress was
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I get chills still thinking about it. Let's see. Oh, how could I forget? The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. Yeah, for the AAA World Tag Team Championships there. Do you think the Lucha Bros have it to get the titles back, or is this going to be more of a long-term kind of story here between these two teams?
Well, I think they're still going to have a long story, but I think the Lucha Bros are getting their titles back. I think that's what's going to happen. With the reasoning of why they started this company, they're not looking to go out and do the matches every single night. They're not looking to do all of the stuff that they were doing in New Japan and Ring of Honor, I think. They still want to wrestle and they still want to be very active, but they're also starting a company. And I think they're really into putting over talent and pushing talent and, creating that story that's going to play out now on TNT. And I think the Lucha Bros are going to win, but this is probably going to be my match of the night.
Wow, that's a big call.
Yeah, I love tag team wrestling, and those two is tag team royalty. It almost doesn't get better than that.
That's true. And both teams have put on classics before, so I definitely expect for that to be the same in this case here.
Yeah.
There's let me see here. There's another show or another match here as I'm running down the card here. It looks like this one might be designated for the pre-show. Kip Sabian versus Sammy Guevara. I know quite a bit about Sammy Guevara. He's from here in Central Texas, and he's really good. Kip Sabian I haven't seen too much of, but I know that Sammy Guevara put on a really good match with Joey Janela at Wrestle Circus not too long ago. So I would expect to see Sammy get a pretty good push here too. Let me see here. You mentioned tag team wrestling earlier. We got the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta versus Angelico and Jack Evans. I actually haven't seen Angelico and Jack Evans tag team before. Have you?
I've only ever seen Jack Evans. I've never seen Angelico, but from what I understand, it's going to be very enjoyable to watch those two. They're going to be really high players in the tag division of this company for sure. I love the best friends. I know not a lot of people do, but I just love them. And I really can't explain why. I just do. They just crack me up.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the Best Friends.
Okay, good. I feel like I'm not alone.
I absolutely love Chuck Taylor. I think he's hilarious, and I think that even when he's taken seriously, he's a very good performer. And I mean, I could even see either him or Trent, even when they're in singles competition, doing very very well. Um, let's see here. Let's bring out some of the big guns here.
Yeah.
Cody versus Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
This is just Steven.
You happy over there?
Oh, this match is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I mean, the match itself is going to be really good, but really the main thing that I'm excited about here is just the build up to this match. That was one of the best promos I've ever seen in my entire life, honestly.
With
Dustin Rhodes and
with Cody's response though.
Well, I'm saying just both of them, putting them in just in together as the build up for the match. Both of those promos were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So I'm super excited for this one.
Do you think it'll live up to the hype, Queen?
I think it will. I do. Because if not for anything else, the story that they've built about the new age versus the Attitude Era and putting that to bed and closing that chapter, I think that's what they're trying to tell here. And that story alone has such significance. And it's a draw for a lot of WWE guys. They know Cody, and of course they know Dustin. And of course they know their dad. This is a big moment. They're both not in WWE. Wild. When you think about that. Like, Cody's been out for a while, but even if you were to go back just a couple of years, he was still there, right? And so was Dustin. And now they're starring on a huge pay-per-view for a brand new wrestling company. Blows my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I do. I will say I do see Cody going over here. I do
too.
see.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Well, specifically with the story that they've built up, like Queen mentioned, with the whole the new age versus Attitude Era. That's the story that they're trying to play here, and I think this match, more so than really any of the matches on the card, is really the biggest in terms of the metaphorical significance, I guess. So with this one, I think with the story that they're trying to tell, Cody would have to go over here.
I do see them being like it being like amicable afterwards. Like I do see them like patching things up and maybe even trying to forge a tag team somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
I think that would make a lot of sense, especially I know in the Elite series on YouTube, you get kind of shades of like there's not fractures within the Elite, but you can kind of tell that there's some kind of like tension there, between Cody and Kenny on one side and the Young Bucks being on the other. I think it's very possible that maybe Dustin gets himself involved in there, and at some point down the road when we do have tag team championships, we could see a Rhodes versus Young Bucks kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Don't tease me, Tanner.
Oh, you know me.
I love it.
Main event time: Kenny versus Jericho.
Oh my God, yeah.
I saw something interesting last night. Chris Jericho is debuting a new finishing move, supposedly. AEW exclusive finishing move. He's got this spinning back elbow that he wants to be doing. He's been doing a lot of MMA training, apparently.
Okay.
So, yeah. So is this something that Kenny should watch out for, or are there things that maybe Kenny can scout to avoid Chris Jericho and his offense? Because Chris Jericho took Kenny all the way at Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Yes, he did, and I cannot wait to see it again. It's gonna be fabulous. This match is great. If y'all haven't seen the first one, you should watch it before Double or Nothing, just to kind of get you in the spirit of what you're going to be in for. These are two of my favorite wrestlers. Jericho is one of my greatest wrestlers of all time, like my Mount Rushmore. Shout out to Mags. But for real, Jericho's on it. So I'm super interested. Speaking of that, the fact that he's going to have a new finisher, I'm super interested to see what version of Jericho we're getting and what version of Kenny we're going to get. That's the real question mark.
Yeah.
Jericho's been playing a certain type of heel and it's been getting more aggressive as we move forward in time. And he's getting more cocky. He's coming to get a thank you from Kenny for beating him and, for making AEW on the map.
True.
So
I like that.
Have that whole vibe happening. But what is Kenny going to be doing? We haven't seen Kenny since his loss. He's shown up at Indies, of course, but it's not real Kenny, right? So what are we going to get here at Double or Nothing? Is he going to be the best bout machine? Is he going to be the Terminator style? Are we going back to the Anubis thing? What are we getting here? I don't know. He dyed his hair kind of like purpley. I'm confused. So I'm interested to see like what's going to come from him in this presentation. It's going to be a great match, and I think Kenny wins.
You think Kenny wins? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I was going to ask you if you think that any ring rust on Kenny's part might play into this match here.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
No.
Kenny is
freaking Omega.
Professional.
Yeah.
He really is. And I know that he's been training. There's just no way that he hasn't been. He's too focused on what he wants to do to not be, it's a different level, right? From Wrestle Kingdom to here, but I think that he's going to be just fine.
Okay. Well, cool. I think Kenny would appreciate y'all's vote of confidence in him for sure.
I love you, Kenny.
Before we wrap up here, I know we talked about taking a stroll down memory lane earlier. I want to get your thoughts on some of y'all's favorite Money in the Bank moments, because this pay-per-view has been going on for a while now. It's probably one of their longer serving ones at this point, and I think it's a great concept. What are some of y'all's favorite matches and memories from Money in the Bank?
Oh man, well, for me, it's 2011, and it's CM Punk. That moment there, the whole match, of course, with Cena was out of control. The crowd, the two of them storytelling, but really the moment where he wins the championship and he blows that kiss to Vince McMahon. Oh my God. Oh, that moment gives me so much life 8 years later. It's still one of my favorite things from Money in the Bank. Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely agree. I would say that one goes up as probably my favorite match of all of 2011.
Yep.
I'll put a close second up there with 2013 Money in the Bank. They had like an all-star Money in the Bank match. What was it? It was Christian, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Rob Van Dam, Sheamus, and Randy Orton. That was a great match.
It was.
And then, let's see here. There was another one.
One of mine, I can't remember what year it was specifically. It was a little bit older. Was Edge, and the first time he became the Rated R Superstar. That was one of mine. Forget what year that was specifically.
Interesting.
I remember that. I'm trying to think of what year that's in now.
Yeah, it was earlier. Man, I don't know. I was a young kid.
Yeah. I know what you mean, though. At least we know the match. We're good.
We're on the same page, sort of.
Yeah, we are.
The other one, the one that probably, another one more recently, the 2016 one, where Dean Ambrose won, and then came out and cashed in on Seth Rollins after Rollins beat Reigns.
Oh, what a cash in that was! That was wild.
Yeah, I remember because that was right. Let's see here. That was about I think I was living in the first apartment that I had with my wife at the time.
Oh man!
And yeah, I remember like sitting out on the porch and then like going like looking at my phone, and then I got the alert that Dean Ambrose had cashed in. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah,
it was crazy.
Awesome.
I loved it.
Oh, well, cool. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with, Queen? Anything that you'd like to plug or talk about?
Well, sure. So for AEW week on BBR, I'm going to be dropping the episode on Wednesday that has some hard-hitting analysis with my pal Matt Granberry and a match-by-match card breakdown with none other than the can't miss Speculous JPQ. So please be on the lookout for that. I'm pumped for Money in the Bank tonight. I'm hoping to be thrilled with what I see. I've been super down and disappointed with what's been happening on Raw and SmackDown lately. So I'm hoping this kind of reinvigorates something so I feel a little bit better about the programming moving forward. I really hope that they heed all of the warning signs about what's going on with them right now, and I'm hoping we get a stellar pay-per-view. And I'll be posting all over Twitter too, so check out for that. And you can get me at the Queen of Any on Twitter.
Awesome. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure as always having you on, Queen. We got to have you on again sometime soon, and I appreciate you making time for us to come on the show today.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for asking me, and I can't wait to talk again. And you're always welcome on Queen's Court anytime. I have some ideas for you, so
Oh, okay. Well, you're going to have to let us know.
I will. We won't spoil it for the people yet, but I'll tell you.
Got to keep it kayfabe.
That's
All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you on, Queen, and thank you guys again for listening. Y'all take care, and again, be safe out there. Enjoy Money in the Bank.